Welcome to Ask Princess. I am Princess. I would like to thank everyone for joining me on my first show. If you like, you can stay connected with me on Facebook at Ask Princess. That is Ask_Princess. Speaking on Facebook, before I get started, I would like to thank Holly and Ashley. Holly was the first person to like my Facebook page, and Ashley was the first person to share it. So I'd like to just say thanks, ladies. Today, I'd like to discuss obesity in the poor. Now, one of my many job titles is that I'm a health counselor. And so I work with a lot of people that are overweight, obese, and it is very disproportionate. The clientele that I have are very low income. So this topic hits home, it's very direct. I have a very close relationship with this topic. I've also decided to do this topic in 2 segments, mainly because it's a lot that can go into this one topic, and I just think it would be a lot better if we just divide it into 2, just to give us something to think about with each segment. So, today, what I really want to go over is being poor and obese right now is an epidemic. It's very disproportionate, and as far as the type of people that are obese and overweight, a lot of times, the majority of the time, it is lower income families. Now, just working with the types of families that I work with, I've come up with a few conclusions and possible solutions to go with these. So the first thing that I've noticed, or one of the first things I should say that I've noticed, is there's a lack of education. These families are not aware that they have choices. They are unaware of organic. They are unaware of how many fruits and vegetables per day as far as servings they're supposed to get. They're unaware that brown rice, dark wheat, is actually better for you than white. They are unaware that just because grandma has high blood pressure or diabetes, that you don't have to have it. They're also unaware that the way that grandma eats could actually have caused or still be a very much a contributing factor to the ailments and illnesses that she has. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of the families that I work with, there is someone directly in the family that has high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol. The family has a history of cancers, and regardless of the illness, whether current or past, the family member is still eating the same way. So it's like they haven't put 2 and 2 together. But sometimes I honestly think they're not thoroughly educated. The second thing that I've noticed, or the second issue I should say more so than the thing, that I've noticed is no resources. And when I say no resources, that is like a group of several different things. The first thing is no resources as far as appropriate places to shop for grocery. Most of the time, lower income families are living in quote unquote the hood and not in suburbia. And in the hood, you don't find stores that are health food stores. You won't find stores that sell organic. You won't find stores that serve or provide a large array of fruits and vegetables, or even high quality fruits, vegetables, meat, etc. Another component to the no resources is transportation. A lot of times these people have to rely on public transportation, or they have to rely on some other type of way, which is, they may walk. They may walk to the nearest store to them. They may catch rides with family and friends. They may have, like, every Saturday they go grocery shopping, and it's a routine. It's very strategic. They get picked up. they go shop, they're dropped off at home. Even if they are taking public transportation, usually from the nearest type of organic or whole food or stores that serve better qualities. I mean, that's, a lot of transferring on the bus. Some of my clients tell me, if they want to go to the better areas, that's 2 or 3 buses. Who can really afford to do that and take a bunch of grocery on the bus? Another thing, as far as lack of resources, there's no public gardens, there's no co-ops, there's nothing of that nature in these areas. And some of that goes back to education. Some people have no idea what a co-op is. They have no idea how to start one or participate in one or, really know anything about that. Another issue that kind of goes in with the no resources is that the few resources that they may have are poor choice resources, such as fast food on every corner, convenience stores. And with the fast food, to me, 100%, fast food is not to be blamed 100% for obesity, because you can always choose not to go there. But if you want to not cook, or you're on a go and you need to get something, you're going to go to the closest place to you, especially if you have limited transportation. And in the hood, they have a fast food restaurant of some kind on every corner, whether it's a burger and fry joint, whether it is a taco joint or a mom and pop or a chicken restaurant, pizza, whatever the case may be. You will find that on every corner in the hood. You will also find a convenience store. Some people call them bodegas, some people call them corner stores. You'll find these stores also on every corner in the hood. And in these stores, you will find a lot of processed foods, whether it's the processed snacks, like chips and cookies. You'll find a lot of sweet stuff. You really do not find anything of great nutrition except maybe canned vegetables and fruit. And sometimes even with that's a little leery if they have a lot of salt and sugar added. Another issue that I've seen with these families is that if they do find a way to make it, to a grocery store, especially in the hood, there's a lot of poor quality. There's a lot of difference. You can take the same chain and go, and be in the hood and go to that same chain store in a suburban area or a middle class or upper middle class area, and the food is different. The quality, the look, the variations, all of that is different. When it comes to things like meat, the cuts of meat, the types of meat, I personally have never seen pig feet in an upper middle class neighborhood before, grocery store. Never seen it. Could be wrong. Really wasn't looking for it because pig feet is not my thing, but just a good example. But you can find that in pretty much in any corner store or any grocery store in the hood. But when you go to upper middle class, you don't find that. Now, of course, it is a supply and demand, but with the same token, you won't have pig feet in suburbia, but why can't you have better quality food in the poor areas? It's like you're forcing them to eat whatever you decide you want to give them, and they really don't have a choice. And then again, that goes back to lack of education. A lot of these people, willingly accept these food choices because they don't know any better. They do not understand, or they have never been told or never been taught that certain foods prepared a certain way is basically deadly. Certain foods prepared a certain way, is not the best option. You can try something else. Sometimes when I talk to them and I talk to them about processed food, they just automatically assume that it's one thing, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we ate chicken nuggets, that came in a bag. Well, chicken nuggets that come in a bag, that's processed food too. So with the lack of education, these people do not know, oh, well, maybe we can start a community garden, or maybe I need to question my local grocery store as to why, if I go to this store versus this store, the quality is better. Really, what I've seen with obesity, there's a couple of components that need to be reached and touched. Of course, there needs to be more emphasis on education. There needs to be more emphasis on physical activity. When working with these kids, I talk to them, so how many days a week do you have PE? Most of them only have PE once a week for 45 minutes. Younger kids may have a recess every day, but once you hit about the 5th grade, they cut out your recess. So these children are getting physical activity in school 45 minutes once a week. Get home, of course, they're all about video games, or maybe they have other obligations that they must fill, so they can't go outside and play. Emphasis needs to be put on physical activity as well. Diet plays a part, but physical activity is maybe even a bigger part to this whole scenario. Also, the community basically needs to take a stand. They need to say, we're not going to have poor quality grocery stores. So-and-so fast food, you cannot put another one. Sometimes you'll see the same fast food chain in less than a mile from each other. And you'll see several of them depending on how big a particular neighborhood is. No, we're not going to have these anymore. So there are some things that, the community needs to do to put forth. The people of the community, the administration of the community, the city council members, the mayors, the town spokesperson, whomever, those people can put forth an initiative, because people are dying like 30 years old now of heart attacks and strokes. People are dying 40 years old. People 30 years old are on dialysis and having amputated limbs. So somebody needs to take a stand and really needs to say something. Something that you can do just to help in general is you can educate. When you see someone, read up, learn yourself that no, you should not have an abundance of sugar. No, you should not have an abundance of salt. And when you see people that really shouldn't have it, diabetics, people have blood pressure, etc., etc., share with them this education. Share with them this knowledge. Everyone's not going to be receptive, and sometimes it takes more than one try, but you're doing your part by sharing with them. And together, with that being said, we can attempt to save as many people as we can. Well, I think I have ranted and raved enough. Please feel free to join me on Facebook again at Ask Princess. That's Ask_Princess. I thank you for joining me for my very first show. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them for me. And you never know, I will answer them on the air for you. And with that being said, stay tuned. Segment 2 will be coming soon. Thank you.